It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. Like many new moms, Brooke Griffin struggled to lose nearly 70 extra pounds after giving birth to her son. During a time of personal trial, Brooke decided to make some changes. She worked to lose all the baby weight and started SkinnyMom.com to help others struggling with similar issues. Brooke is here today to give us the skinny on healthy living. Brooke is a former NFL cheerleader and Fitness Universe champion. She is the author of the new cookbook, Skinny Suppers, 125 Lightened Up Healthier Meals for Your Family. She has appeared in national magazines such as Women's Fitness, Redbook, American Baby, and GQ, and on national television, including ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, and Fox. Welcome, Brooke. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Joan. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Brooke, it's my pleasure to have you here because your story is so common to so many of us. Your career has included being an NFL cheerleader, a Fitness Universe champion. You were married, you had a child, and everything seemed to be on track. And what's so common for the rest of us is that when we get to that point in our life and everything seems to be moving forward as planned, life has a way of throwing us a curveball, as you know, and I know. So tell us about what you experienced in your life that thrust you on this new path.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best, Joan. Life isn't always what it seems, and it can change really quickly. And so that point in my life, I had just had my son, and I was going through a very difficult circumstance. I was actually going through an unexpected divorce, and I had given up my job just a year before, thinking and anticipating I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm now living with my parents and just really experiencing, depression with the weight that I had gained and just everything going on at this point. And so it was at this pivotal point where, it was one of those things like, when you're faced with this, I was like, I've got to make some changes. And so what I started doing is I kind of thought back to that fitness background that I had and said, you know what, I'm going to start making some small changes, working out from home, even with my son. If he's here, I'm going to do what I can. And then I also started cooking healthier meals. So I started experimenting with some family recipes and recipes that I would create, cooking lightened up meals. And I posted these workouts and these recipes to a blog called Skinny Mom, where moms get the skinny. And I really did it for myself, to hold myself accountable and to just have a place to collect my thoughts and kind of inspire myself. But I thought, you know what, this might be inspiring to others. That was my hope. Other women going through similar situations. And it started off with family, friends, a few visitors, and now it's just grown tremendously, bigger than anything I could have ever imagined.
You know, Brooke, I love your story because I can so relate. I went through something similar. It was at a period of my life where I went through a divorce. My mother died. My sister died. My oldest son left for college. And I know where you were at that low point where you kind of say to yourself, I'm either going to sink or swim. I'm going to let this destroy and define me, or I'm going to do something good with this pain. And that's where all of what I'm doing came from. That's why I love to share stories like yours, because I think it offers so much hope to people that are at that low point where they really don't think they can go on. They don't think there's any future for them.
Yes, Joan, and that's so lovely. And I think, and again, thank you for having me so that I could share as well, because I think there's such power in sharing our stories, because there's so many women that when they hear this, they can relate. And when they see others, like you said, in this dark situation, it's when you rise to the occasion, you say, you know what, I'm going to do something. I'm going to not only inspire myself, but I want to make changes. I think it's empowering other women once they hear that they can do it too. There's encouragement.
And Brooke, what often happens, and when you're in that low point, you tend to turn to food for comfort or for whatever it is that isn't always the right reason to be eating. And then often, a lot of times, we pack on this weight, which then does a number on our self-esteem because not only are we going through a difficult situation, we're not comfortable in the body that we have. So you got to that point. I mean, 70 pounds, that's a lot of weight to have to lose. And for someone who's at that point, who isn't comfortable with his or her body and self-image, how can you help that person take that first step and to understand the changes that are required?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step is just doing something. And so when I say doing something, making small changes. I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed and to look and see how big the process could be, whether it's, joining a gym or having to, go on a strict diet. I think don't think about those things at all. Wake up every day and say, if it's 5 or 10 minutes, I'm going to do something active. I'm going to do a few workouts from my home. I'm going to, do something that's going to help me feel better physically. And then I think it's so important with your diet and what you're eating. And so rather than thinking that you're going on a diet, try to make small changes. I refer to a lot of them as called like skinny swaps, like swapping in different things when you're cooking meals. Cook more meals at home instead of eating out so you know what your body's taking in. And then I love this and I still live by it, never eat a bad meal twice. So if you're going to, mess up, we all make mistakes, or we eat a meal that we don't necessarily feel so good about. Instead of having that all or nothing mentality, just the next meal, just make better choices and decisions. And once you start doing that forms habits that will really change your lifestyle.
Is that how you lost the weight, Brooke? You said you went back to your fitness knowledge, but what did you end up doing? Did you follow a particular program? Did you just make these changes?
I did. I made these changes. I started doing all of the workouts that I post on skinnymom.com. Those are the workouts. I worked out from home. I didn't join a gym. I didn't go spend hours at the gym. I truly worked out from home. And then, of course, I had my little guy. So many of us with kids, get active with your kids, get outdoors, go running. And then it's a huge part is your diet and your food. And I started cooking almost all of my meals from home. I really invested time into planning out my weeks. I'm a big believer in meal planning and prepping to make sure that you're not coming home like, what's for dinner? That's the question that we all dread to hear. You're coming home, you have a plan to say, at least 3 nights this week, I'm going to cook something that I can feel good about, and then I can feed my family and we can all feel good about. And so I think even if you're, starting with just 1 meal a day where you're being intentional to make it lightened up and healthy, this is a great start.
And I think so much of it starts in the mind. Stop looking at it like a diet, because that seems to be, okay, for a period of time, I'm going to starve myself and deprive myself, and then it will be over, and I'll be thin for the rest of my life, and everything will be great. And that's not how it works. So I think that's one of the most common mistakes people make, is that I'm going to go on a diet. What do you think are the common mistakes that people make?
I could not agree more with you, Joan, on that. You definitely saying you go on a diet. I think when we say that, our minds immediately start trying to think of all the food that we want to eat. It's just that mindset of we're going to be depriving ourselves. It's all about a lifestyle and balance. When I talk about skinny suppers and the recipes that are on skinnymom.com, I mean, these recipes are true to how I live my life, Joan. I don't follow strict diets. I don't sacrifice the things I love. Rather, I try to cook lightened up recipes that are some of my favorite foods and make them taste good, but doing them in a smarter way, just swapping things out. And once you start doing this, it becomes a lifestyle. This is just how you're going to cook because, one, your pantry is going to be stocked with all of these brands and foods that you get used to using because you know what's going into your recipes, and it really just becomes a lifestyle. And I think if more of us could start doing that, then we wouldn't have to do the fad diets, because I don't think those things work long term. As you just said, Joan, they don't.
Well, I'm the queen of, okay, today I'm going to pig out because tomorrow I'm going to start eating healthy.
Yes, it's that all or nothing mentality. Yeah, you try to eat everything because of that. You're building yourself up for that period where you're going to, starve or do some kind of crazy diet.
Now, Brooke, on a serious note, we have more obese children today than ever before. What can parents do to set a good example for their children and to encourage healthy eating habits?
I think it's a huge problem, and it's only going to increase. And I think the biggest change that we as parents can make is start at your dinner table. I'm a big proponent of getting the family around the table, more women and men taking charge and saying, you know what, I'm going to cook dinner, and I'm going to be intentional with the time that I spend around the dinner table, because there's so many studies that show that families eat together. They do, raise up children that will make healthier choices. So I think when we're sitting at the table, we've cooked a healthy, lightened up meal. They're enjoying the dinner that you've cooked, so they're already seeing and trying the food that's going to make them feel good. But when we have great conversation around the table, too, I think that's so important for families. So that was really, why I created the cookbook, twofold. Create lightened up meals that taste good for families, but also to encourage families, if it's one night a week to start with, to hopefully 3 or 4 nights a week to enjoy time with their family around the supper table.
Very quickly, Brooke, what would you recommend some trade-offs be for someone who wants to lighten a recipe? What are the type of things that you've incorporated into your recipes? Often people think if they're going to eat food that helps them lose weight, that it's not going to taste good. So what are some of the trade-offs that will keep the food tasty but be better for us?
Yeah, no, I love these, and these are what I refer to as skinny swaps. So when it comes to butter and oil, I still use them. I use real butter, and I use extra virgin olive oil, but I use far less. I mean, all foods today have way too much of that, so you can cook great tasting foods with less. And then also, I ditch the heavy cream. I don't use creams. I've learned how to make great tasting sauces with non-fat milk. And also, I've used great skinny swaps, such as instead of high-fat mayo, non-fat Greek yogurt is perfect, lightened up sour cream. And then, two other skinny swaps I'll share with you. One is when it comes to cheese, I love cheese. I think it's great. You're going to see tons of casseroles in the cookbook, and they have to have cheese. But when you can find real good, flavorful cheese, you can always use less. And then also when it comes to meats specifically, knowing how to choose your meats with leaner cuts, swapping in, instead of pork sausage, use chicken sausage. And then I know I said 2, but I have one more too. When it comes to whole grains, of course, always choose, whole grain or brown rice instead of white rice. So there's like a long list of things you can do. But once you become accustomed to cooking this way, your family are going to enjoy the recipes. And again, you're going to see changes in how you feel and also in your lifestyle.
The book is Skinny Suppers, 125 Lightened Up Healthier Meals for Your Family. If you would like to learn more about Brooke or her book, you can visit the website skinnymom.com. Brooke, thank you so much for being here and for giving us the skinny on healthy eating.
Thank you, Joan.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.